Hello, everyone, and welcome to What the Pause. I'm Emilia. I am your host and podcast creator. And today with me, I have Jen. Jen is an awesome woman. We had a chance to talk last week, and she is just full of life, full of life. And today, Jen's not only going to talk about her journey through peri to meno. She's had some interesting things happen to her along the way during that transition. But I also want to have Jen here because we're going to talk about more the health and wellness and the fitness part and what Jen is doing now in her midlife, which is just sounds fantastic. So, Jen, I want to welcome you to the show. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited about this because I think it's going to be important just to share my views coming from my background.
Absolutely. And this is why we're doing this because it's amazing to hear everybody's different stories. And like I said, everyone is different, right? So
Absolutely.
um, tell the audience, Jen, a few things about yourself, how old you are, what your career was, and what you're doing right now.
Oh man. Okay, well, it's like I feel like it's like a dating app, right? But no.
Yeah.
I'm 54 years old. I was born in Michigan. And so I'm a Midwest girl, but I lived most of my life in Texas for 25 years. And I had a full-time job. I had all of that. And then, but my part-time job, I guess you could say, was being a 15-time Ironman triathlete.
That's
And so,
amazing. Oh my
thank
God.
you. Amazing or crazy, I don't know. I don't know what you want to say, but and if you don't know what an Ironman is, it's a 2.4 mile swim, 112-mile bike, and a 26.2 marathon run. And I know you're Canadian, so
Yes.
my conversions are like 3.8K,
Yep.
180K, and
Wow.
then 42K, I believe. Yeah,
Incredible. What made you get started in all these Ironman competitions?
sure. Yeah, it was 1989, and I was watching the ABC Wild World of Sports, and
We used to have
some
it here
of
too in Canada.
yes, and you might remember the tagline, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
Neat.
And you see the guy tumbling down the snow, the hill,
Right,
after
right.
a jump or something, right? And it was the 1989 Ironman World Championship with Mark Allen and Dave Scott, and it was they called it the Iron War to this day. And Mark Allen won that day under like they were like 8 hours they did it.
Wow.
And then an hour later, Paula Newby Frazier, the first female, crossed the finish line. And I was 17 years old. And I said to myself, I said, she can do that. I could do that.
Yep. Perfect.
And and then the rest was history. So I remember going to Michigan to visit my grandpa and grandma and my family. And my grandpa was the World War II vet, the Purple Heart, the fitness guy. And I said, Grandpa, I said, by the time I'm 30, I'm doing the Ironman in Hawaii. And he goes, well, when you go, I'll go with you. And I'm
Did you
like,
go?
unfortunately,
Oh
Grandpa
no.
passed in my first Ironman was in 2002. Grandpa passed away in 2001.
Oh, I'm so
But I can
sorry.
no, 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 but he was there.
Oh, of
He was
course.
there for those he was there for those 15 Ironmans, and it's all through my butterflies. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
a whole other
Awesome.
story. So yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So, you're doing your Ironmans, and then what's going on else in your life after your career, and then tell us how you got to where you are today. Tell everybody
Yeah.
where you're from right now doing
Yeah.
this.
I currently, and I don't know if this is video, but I currently live
Mhm.
in perfect. I currently live in Costa Rica. That's my tiny board. So I call it TB, tiny board, from not tiny dog, from the Secret Life of Pets. But tiny board is her name. But yeah, I live in Costa Rica. I live about 10 minutes from the beach, and I went through a divorce. And I said to myself, if I don't, and we didn't have any kids. So I said to myself, if I don't move now, when am I going to do it? San Antonio, Texas no longer served me. So I was going to choose either Hawaii, California, or Costa Rica. And Costa Rica won because I am currently living in a one bedroom, one office, two bath container home that I built all through the eyes of Pinterest and ideas and a vision. And I'm on top of a hill. I do not have ocean view because ocean view is way outrageously expensive like it is everywhere else. But I do have mountain views. I have scarlet macaws flying by in the morning and at night. I listen to howler monkeys at nighttime. I see the sun go down. And yeah, I'm absolutely thriving here because I work online. And
Right.
I've been working online since 2013.
Awesome. Wow. That is really before a lot of us went into,
Yep.
work from home mode. So you're
Yep.
very lucky that you can do
Very
this.
lucky.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh man, I want that life. I'm sure my audience is like, darn, she's done so well. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
But
Um,
that
hmm,
but that's the thing. We can have this life, and I'm living proof of it. Yeah, was I ahead of 2020 on the online stuff? Absolutely. But like everybody reached out to me during 2020 is like, how are you doing this? I'm like, you just got to put the earbuds on and listen to music and just get to work. Like it's
exactly.
really like you're gonna get distracted every 10 minutes.
No,
So
absolutely. You're
yeah,
very disciplined too, which
yeah,
you need to be,
yeah,
especially for your Ironman, your marathons and everything that you're
exactly.
doing in life, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
talk to us about your peri to menopause stage.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it's sort of crazy because like I think I'm getting I've talked when we were talking the other day, I was talking to you about like the dates and the years, but I think it was in 2000, yeah, it was in 2015. I did two Ironmans. I did an Ironman in Ironman Coeur d'Alene in Idaho and then Ironman Panama City Beach, Florida. And I remember carrying around tampons in my racing kits because my periods were so sporadic and they were so heavy. So, and I didn't know if I was gonna have my period that day. I didn't know if I was gonna, and I do remember like right before Coeur d'Alene, I started spotting. So it was like, okay, am I spotting or am I gonna have my period? So here I had tampons all around in like all my places on my bike, on my race kits, in my bags, anyways. So that happened 2000 that Ironman Florida. I don't believe I had a period or I didn't have my period during that race. But that the end of that year, 2015, I went to my OB-GYN and I was like, I'm just sort of done with like sporadic periods,
Right.
not realizing like I was perimenopause at that point, you know,
Yep.
and it's and you know how like the doctors I don't think really understand or have learned so much about the menopause. We're getting better,
They
but
are.
like back
They're getting better,
they
but
are. They're getting better. And this was what, 11 years ago, right?
yeah. Yeah.
So my doctor was like, "Well, why don't you just do an ablation and then you could not have a period." And I'm like, "What? Okay." Like I didn't even second guess it. Of course I'll do that. So
Okay.
I ended up getting an ablation. My ex and I talked about it because at one point we did try to have kids.
Okay.
Ironically, I did not want to have kids from the very beginning. But what does society tell you to do? Oh, you got to have kids next. That's next.
Know that
But,
well enough.
you know,
Yep.
yeah. And it's interesting because God, universe, higher power knew exactly what I wanted and listened to me because I had ended up having three miscarriages and then and then we decided or I decided that I wanted the ablation.
Okay.
And so I got the ablation and I still remember that like after I recovered from the ablation, I drive and it was my first workout and I drive to the pool And I just sat in the pool, or I sat in my car, and I just started crying. And I
Oh,
call up my ex and he goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I'll never, if I wanted a baby, I'll never be able to have a baby now." He's like, "Where are you at?" I said, "I'm at the pool." He goes, "Why are you at the pool?" He's like, "Go for a run. You love running." Like that, and that running was my jam. So
yes.
I go back home, went for a run. It was a total, like I was fine. I was like, "All right, I'm good." But anyways, like at any rate, so then 2016 happened, Ironman Florida 2016. I podium. I was in the top 5 of my age group, so I was up on the podium. Thank you. And then 2017, like everything just like sparkled. Like I was racing efficiently. Like everything I did was just spot on and just nailing my workouts, nailing my races. Like I was on the podium every race I did. And then Ironman Mont Tremblant is where I qualified for the Ironman World Championship. 8 weeks later, I had to do it. But where's the crazy thing was that I was going, like I would wake up in the middle of the night just drenched, and the sheets were soaked. And so then I would wake up, and then my ex was still sleeping. And
Mhm.
then he would wake up the next morning. He's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know. I had to change my clothes." I go, "It's probably just training. Like it's probably just because
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
going from one Ironman. 8 weeks later, I'm getting ready for the world
sure.
championship in Hawaii. Like my body is like, in my mind, my body's like, oh, it's just working out." Well, come to find out, being certified in menopause course, I realized I pretty much jump started my menopause,
Yeah,
even though I was already going through it with perimenopause and menopause and all that stuff with the ablation.
exactly.
So, so that was me just chalking it up like, oh, I'm just training. I'm heavy training. And I was drenched. I was drenched. Sheets were drenched. And go ahead.
So, did you get any support as soon as you noticed this was happening? So, you had your ablation, and it was an endometrial ablation. So,
Correct.
that happens and it pushes you right into menopause, like you just mentioned. But you didn't really start feeling the night sweats till after? Is that what I'm hearing right now in terms of
I mean,
actually symptoms?
yeah, I didn't see the night sweats until 2017, but I
Right.
had the ablation
Ablation.
in
Yeah.
early 2016.
Right. Isn't that wild that this
Yeah.
happened? So what did you do as soon as you found out, like you telling your ex, oh my gosh, that must be my training, we try to brush it off. But when did you get help? Like when did it start interfering with your life? Let's just say that.
It didn't.
Oh, you're one of those unicorns we
No, no,
call
no,
you
no, no.
guys. Okay,
No, no,
continue.
no. This is what I told you about. Like,
Yes.
I don't let menopause and perimenopause rule my life. I work
Mindset.
out,
Yeah. Hmm.
I work out, I eat the way I want it. Like, I get so fucking frustrated, excuse the language.
No worries here.
Oh, I get so frustrated when people reach out to me. It's like, how do you do it? They're like, well, I've gained weight. I work out, or I've gained weight. Okay, what are you doing for your workouts? Well, I don't really work out. Well, what are you doing for your nutrition? Well, I just sort of eat little things here and there. Well, first of all, you're starving yourself. Second of all, you're not moving. Like you're doing like things that you shouldn't be doing, like you're eating
Yes.
like crap and you're not working out. Well, of course you're going to gain weight. I don't care if it's menopause or non-menopause. You're going to gain the weight. But let me back up a little bit. I had a podcast briefly. I stopped it. The stuff is still out there, but I had a really good interview with a company called Femgevity,
Okay.
and they specialize in menopause as well. And after I chatted with them, I was like, huh, maybe I should try some progesterone, estrogen, that type of thing. And I started taking the progesterone, slept like a baby, did very well with it. If I took the 200 milligrams of progesterone, I felt like I was drunk. So I had
Yes.
I had to bring that down to one. Then I ended up going on the estradiol patch, and I had cream testosterone, and I hated everything about it. I put on weight. I
Hmm.
broke out like a 15-year-old child, and that's exactly what the birth control pill did to me. The
Yep.
same thing. Gained weight and broke out. Like, I'm not talking about like a little pimple here or there. I'm talking about like the cystic hormonal acne at 52 years old.
Wow. Wow.
I am on nothing other than supplements and like fish oils, and I get the occasional little pimple here and there from the sun,
There
and
you
that's
go.
about it.
So
Like,
right,
but
yeah,
I took myself off
out of
all
everything.
HRT,
Okay.
all of it,
Right.
and I cannot do it. Like, and I'll be very transparent too. Living in Costa Rica, it was very hard to get the estradiol and the I'm sorry, the testosterone cream.
Yeah.
Progesterone, easy. I could go into the if y'all come down to Costa Rica, you just want to go into and you don't need a prescription, you just ask for progesterone and they'll give you some. But that was actually helpful on that. But then I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I don't need this,
Hmm. Well,
you
that's
know?
great. Yeah. If you don't need it, I applaud you for trying it though, right? Like,
Thank you.
why
Thank
not?
you. Yeah.
And then you made the decision that, nope, this is not for me. And
Yeah.
that is fantastic too. And now you're thriving in post. You're thriving.
Correct.
I can hear it. I can see it. And now you're Coach Jen. So Coach Jen, tell us
I've been
about your,
Yeah, and I've been Coach Jen for a long time. Like, so
oh,
I've coached.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I've coached. So just I coach triathletes and I'm still coaching triathletes. I'm going to Hawaii this year to coach my triathletes. So it's like a full circle moment for me. I'm just like over the moon about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm Coach Jen, and now
Okay.
it's more for women. So continue. Sorry.
All right, so this is what I want to know because you are a woman supporting women. You have a lot of knowledge in many areas, especially in the health and wellness, in a triath and an Ironman. And this is where I find the most credible people that talk to me because
Yeah.
I can talk to doctors until the sun comes out, and then I'll be like, okay, 50% of them may know what they're talking about, and the other 50% have no idea what they're talking about, right?
Right.
Because they just don't have and people don't understand, and especially in post, which is really important. And I even have the problem of motivating myself, getting
Mhm.
myself out of the bed, getting myself to the gym. And I know a lot of it comes down to mindset. And this
Mhm.
is where I know I suffer a little bit of, and so
Mhm.
do a lot of the users out there or the viewers. Because they like, I just don't want to, like you said, I don't want to go to the gym. Nah, I don't work out a lot and I don't know what I want to eat. That's a lot
Mhm.
of us. And I know that, I'm a 30-year fitness instructor myself. I know exactly what to do, but I know there are days when I don't want to get out of bed. Still to
Sure.
this day, right? And I'm on HRT. I'm on antidepressant, anti-anxiety, and I have been before the HRT. So,
Mhm.
as Coach Jen, tell us when you have clients like myself who are like, how do we get into that mindset? Like, I love athletes, pro athletes like yourself because you have that mindset, and I know having that discipline too. I was a dancer for
Sure.
22 years, so I know exactly what that is, but I've lost it. And I know
Yeah.
many of my friends have too. So tell us, how would you coach us back into that mindset, getting back into
Mhm.
being excited to go back to the gym, getting excited about the next chapter of our lives as we get older,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. I love that question. I think, what I'm all about is I'm not going to say, all right, let's go do an Ironman, y'all. I would never do that to y'all. But what I would start off with is just the baby steps, right? I would start giving you small goals. So every day would be that small goal. So then that would be a win. So it's like, oh, I checked off 90 ounces of water today. Oh, I checked off my supplements today. Oh, I was able to do a workout at home because I wasn't able to get to the gym. Like, that's 3 wins in one day. That's phenomenal, right? I'm not going to say to y'all like, all right, we're going to walk 10,000 steps a day. We're going to go to the gym 5 days a week. You're going to surf, you're going to do this, you're going to do Zumba, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Like, no. Like, I really want to start like programming the mind and the body together. And that's where I come in with my four pillars. We talk about the
Yes.
movement, we talk about the mindset, we talk about the meaning, and we talk about the metabolism piece. So, really, I try to pull that all in. Like, okay, why? I mean, great question. And if you've never seen the TEDx talk by Simon Sinek, like Finding Your Why, it's one of the best TEDx talks out there, and he has built a brand off of that.
Yes.
And I highly recommend it. But it really talks about like what is your why as you are living the second half of your life? Is it because you have kids, you got grandbabies, you have, you want to be around for them. I don't know. Like that, I don't have kids, but I have a niece. She sees what I'm doing and she's 17 years old. And I mean, she was just texting me this morning, like how great is that? It's Aunt Jennifer down in Costa Rica, I
Yes.
think it's beautiful. But like I think back about like my why, I had a couple whys in my Ironman space, but now as I'm coaching women, my why is to really helping women find their voice through my four M's: movement, meaning, mindset, and metabolism. And it all starts with in.
Yes. And that is, even just listening to you, I'm like, wow, that is very powerful, what you just said. And your four pillars make absolute sense. It's just something that, we can sit back and many women, like I still have teenagers. I have a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old, and they drive me
Really?
bonkers. So yeah, so when they were starting their periods, I was going through
Oh,
peri. So lots of
oh my
estrogen,
God, I can't
right?
imagine at that age. Oh,
Exactly.
I remember that
Exactly.
age.
Oh, yes. So do I. It's like
Yep.
karma. Thank you so much. But nonetheless,
Absolutely.
a lot of us women also, I've had a job loss, right? And I've had a courtroom loss with my ex just recently. And it's like, oh my God. Before I would be on the ceiling, just like if I'm anxiety of it all. And now it's like, okay, let's just calm it down. It's not as bad as we seem, as it
Mm.
seems. Good things are coming to us. But there are a lot of women in the same predicament where they're like, I'd love to have these small wins. And I think that's exactly what's a great place to start are these small wins. I tell my daughters, if you make your bed in the morning, that's a
Yep.
small win. You've done your first job of the day. And they said, well, why am I going to make it up when I'm just going to get back in and make it messy again? And I said, well, that's not the point. The point is that
Right.
you're going to have a small goal. So I
Yeah.
completely agree with that approach. And this is
Yeah.
fantastic. Um, Jen, tell me about where they can find you online.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can go to my website, jenrulon.com. But I am very active on Instagram, Coach Jen Rulon, very active. We met on
That's
Threads.
right.
So I've been enjoying Threads more recently. And then you could also go to TikTok, Coach Jen Rulon. And then I also have started my Substack.
Okay.
And that is really enjoyable because I love writing. And I feel like the blogs are very like my on my website, the blogs are very like robotic. Oh, here's the top five, strength trainings that you need to do as a woman in menopause, blah, blah, blah. But like Substack is like just like some aha moments that I had. Like yesterday, last night I had a really weird dream and then when I was out working out at
Yes.
my house, all of a sudden I put it all together. I'm like, okay, this makes sense now. But I'll probably write about that, because it will be something, very monumental because it was something that I had a vision from my ex. And I've been
Yes.
divorced, I mean, we started going through therapy in 2019, so it's been 7 years, but we've been divorced since 2022. But
Right.
sometimes those things pop up. And that's another thing that I when I work with women, it's not just women in menopause and perimenopause, it's women that have gone through a divorce, maybe a breakup, loss of a child, loss of a
Yes.
parent.
Hmm.
And so a lot of these women that I work with, it's like, all right, I don't want to focus on you in the past relationship or that. It's time to focus on you.
Absolutely. That's the key, right? We tend
Yeah.
to lose ourselves right? And then when we come back, it's kind of like, why did I lose myself so all that
Yeah.
time? Right. And it's and, you know,
Yeah.
and us with and women with kids, or if they're in the sandwich generation, right? And
Yeah.
it's like taking care of the older parents where I'm at right now. And it's
Absolutely.
something that we need to, I tell my friends too, you have to put yourself first, you
Yep.
know, in every
Absolutely.
aspect. Um, Jen,
Absolutely.
this has been fantastic because again, I know people that are be watching this and listening to it at the same
Mhm.
time that they're going to take this information because it's different when somebody is like a 20-year-old influencer that says, do all this stuff. Exactly. Do all this stuff and you can look like blah blah blah. I'm like, darling, we
Please.
were 20 years old once. Wait till you hit our
Yeah.
age, right?
And it's, you know what?
Yes.
Let's be real. At
Yes.
20 years old, we're drinking Diet Coke, going out drinking and eating McDonald's,
There
and we're
you
doing
go.
just fine.
That's
We
right.
can't we can't do that anymore, ladies. As much as it sounds
No.
amazing, but we can't.
I know. Maybe once a year if you go on vacation, but that's about it.
Absolutely. For sure. For
Right.
sure. Yeah.
And this is great that we have someone like you who is available remotely to
Yeah.
around the world, right? And you
Yeah.
have your Substacks, which are not written by AI, thank God. This is from
Yeah.
your voice, right? So the
Right.
credibility here is amazing. And so I want to say to my users, to my viewers, take Jen's advice, look at her Substacks, look at her website, and I will have that information, by the way, in the comment section so you can easily follow her. And please share, like, and also pass it forward. You never know who can use this advice because when I'm listening to Jen, it's like, yep, it all makes sense. And yes, we just get that mindset in and let's go for it. Do it for you, right? Do it for
Absolutely.
yourself. Awesome. Jen, thank you so much again for coming
Thank
on.
you, Amalia.
Oh,
Appreciate
you're
you.
such a pleasure. And I'm going to come visit you one day in Costa Rica.
Please
I'm
do.
telling you, yes, because it's on my bucket list.
Hey, I have a retreat December 6th through the 12th.
Yes.
Rise with the tides. Yes, that's a total plug.
No problem. No, and we'll put that too in the comments so that
Great.
you can try and attend Jen's retreat. That is
Yeah,
fantastic. I'm looking into those myself because I think it's time for me now to, connect with these wonderful people and
amazing.
women supporting women. That's what we call it, right?
Absolutely.
So, to my viewers and my users and my listeners, again, thank you so much for coming on. And I just want to end off with my mantra, which is be safe, be well, and embrace the pause.